I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about 5 phrases your ex used at the breakup and what they might mean.
We hear these things often because we talk to you, we hear your experiences, and there's certain phrases that just keep coming up over and over and over again.
It's very interesting how you'll see very similar patterns over and over again. Mm-hmm. But like I said, every situation is different. Every breakup is different.
Right. Before we get into it, I did want to say that Craig and I are available for coaching sessions. So if you would like to talk about your situation one-on-one with one of us, you can do so by going to our website and booking from there.
Absolutely. So we're just going to get into these because these can help you decipher a little bit more clearly, because it just feels like you're standing in the middle of a cloud and you can't think straight and nothing makes any sense to you. So these are going to help you clarify some stuff for yourself. The first one we're going to talk about is I lost feelings.
Super common.
Yes, I lost feelings for you. It feels very similar to I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Mm-hmm. And so it's like the attraction has faded, right? That spark, that chemistry, that they're not feeling that anymore. And this happens a lot, but sometimes it's because the relationship has gotten monotonous, and maybe you're not courting your partner, taking them out, having fun with them anymore. You've just taken each other for granted, and you're just kind of living this life day after day.
Going through the motions.
Yeah, and it's not fun. It's just kind of stale, and you just assume the person's going to stay, right? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people's big mistake is assuming that your partner's not going to leave. That you just think that because they're there now, they're always going to be there.
Right.
And that's not it's not the truth. And another big reason for hearing this breakup reason is that that person's been feeling smothered. So, you know, the interesting thing about a relationship is there can be different times where one person's interest level is higher than the others. A lot of times I'll hear from avoidance that their girlfriend was so in love with them, they thought she would never leave, and he neglects her, and then she finally leaves, and she pulls away, and then he starts to smother and coming on strong. And now the whole dynamic that you've had is completely different.
Right. It's like trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to overcompensate for all of the times where you had neglected your partner.
Yeah.
And your partner senses that. You know, there's almost the sense of you're just doing this because now I'm upset with you.
Yeah.
And that angers someone even more.
So in a lot of my calls, I'm navigating with the person what they have to do specifically to that situation to navigate it, because it gets really confusing.
Right.
But that is a big reason, that feeling of smothered and trapped. That just really kills the attraction.
Mm-hmm. Right. And a lot of times, too, I see depression going hand in hand with that complacency, going hand in hand with that monotony. And sometimes it takes a partner distancing to really light a fire under someone's arse.
Oh, yeah. That is so true.
Right. And then they start, you know, going into these behaviors where you're trying to force that relationship back or trying to salvage what you can last minute. I did want to speak a little bit more on depression because this is something that I do see a lot.
Yes,
and
depression's
it's something
big.
That's so sneaky. Many of you might be depressed and you don't even know it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to pathologize everything. Not everything needs a diagnosis, but it is important to notice, am I not enjoying the things that I used to? Am I not eating correctly? Am I not sleeping correctly? Maybe I'm not taking care of my hygiene like I used to. Mm-hmm. And these are things that can happen so gradually over time and in a relationship that it's one of those situations that you know it once it's too late. So really be aware. If you're hearing your partner say, I lost feelings for you, this is a moment to look back at yourself and notice, okay, have I been keeping up with taking care of myself? Have I been respecting myself and my body, nourishing my body? Those types of things. It's very, very important.
Yeah, depression causes a lot of breakups.
Right. I did want to make a caveat. My caveats are back. I haven't made a caveat in a video in a while. My caveat to this one is sometimes I lost feelings can also be indicative of an ex's unrealistic expectations for a relationship. So sometimes when I hear this, I lost feelings early on, maybe this is after a shorter term relationship, 3 or 4 months, it's because they have this idea that there's going to be a honeymoon phase forever.
Yes, and avoidants are often very guilty of this because that's just where they're at, because they're trying to basically get all these needs met that were not met in their childhood. And so now they're unconsciously expecting their partner to do those things.
Right. They have this idea that a relationship is supposed to go smooth. If there's any issues or if you start to notice any conflict, then just trash the whole thing.
If you see a comment that says relationships are supposed to be easy on the channel, you can be sure it's from an avoidant.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been an anxious person that's like, this is supposed to be easy. They're like, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, they're like, I'll fight for this relationship through thick and thin.
Yeah. They're like, well, they passed away 6 months ago. I don't care. They'll come back to life.
Yeah, they will do anything. Another thing that you will hear often, this is another phrase, is, I know you're going to have a lot of comments on this one.
Uh-oh.
I don't see a future with you.
Oh, boy. I've heard that one before.
Yep. The first things that we often see correlated with this one.
Can I say it? Because I got to say the biggest one.
I think we might have a little bit of a differing opinion. I'll say mine first and then
Okay.
Worried about stability.
Okay.
I do hear this a lot from women when they don't see, women in particular, when they don't see as much of a drive from their partner.
True.
Typically. So that could be one of those things that's causing someone to say something like that.
Yeah, like I can't count on this to go anywhere.
It could also be a misalignment of values and goals. So sometimes it's one of those things where maybe the two of you are of a different religion, maybe you have different lifestyles in the beginning and you kind of ignore it for some time thinking, like later down in the relationship we'll deal with it. Yeah. Later down in the relationship they're going to say, I don't see a future with you because of those original values and goals.
The big one I see is because I see a future with someone else.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That means, whatever's going on in the relationship, it hasn't been working for them. So they start to feel that attraction to somebody else. And so a lot of times it's a hint that there's someone else in the picture.
Right. And this one's tough because they could meet someone else that is more aligned to their values and goals just naturally in their environment. And that brings to light even more the issues in your relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what gets tough.
We filmed one recently where they said, well, I'm so happy because I don't have to worry about cooking anymore. Remember? And then they said, and then basically they left them for somebody that cooks.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was last time we filmed.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah. I think I did a Skype with that person too after the email coaching.
Yeah.
But these things, they come out. They come out if you're listening closely. Actually, I mean, we know how to find these clues. But when I'm talking with you guys, I'm always, wait a minute, hold on. Tell me more about that.
Right. And this also goes for the first phrase that we said of I lost feelings for you. They could encounter someone that really has this, boundaryless passion for them and is not afraid to show it. And so the complacency in your relationship is now highlighted. Wait a minute. Not even my partner does these things for me.
Yes.
Why should I stay in this relationship?
Yeah.
So that really does come up often. Yeah.
Then they find out the hard way.
Yeah.
That all the other things that you did that these other new people won't do.
Right.
Okay. Next one.
Another one that I also do see with the I don't see a future with you is also sometimes with age differences. Sometimes you'll see someone who's younger who is not sure of their life goals or the direction of their life, and they have a partner who's older, established. That's the direction their life would go in if they decided to be in a partnership with them. So they might say, I don't see a future with you because they have a hard time seeing a future, period. They don't know what's next for them.
Sure, yeah, and I see this with a lot of guys too. When a guy doesn't feel like good about his life and where he's at financially and with his career and whatever his purpose may be, he just feels awful about himself.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this next one, super common. You probably knew it was going to be on this list. It's not you, it's me.
I know. It is you.
It is me. Sorry to say. And so this one deals a lot with personal issues. Sometimes you have to take someone at their word, and when somebody is telling you that there's a lot going on in their life, they can actually support that and show you evidence of it. You've seen it maybe for months. You have to pay attention to those things.
It's true, because yes, many people use it as BS.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where we're looking, if somebody says it to you, I'm talking like, okay, hold on, but could it be them? Let's talk about what's going on with them.
Right.
And sometimes you'll find real evidence that it genuinely is authentic, that they really mean it, that it really is all the things that are going on for them.
Right. It could be personal issues, trauma that's triggered, family issues.
Yeah, trauma's a big one.
Yeah.
That comes up a lot.
Yeah. And that's sometimes something that's very difficult to express in a relationship. You'd have to tell your partner all of your past trauma, which some people aren't willing to do depending on what's happened to them. So keep that in mind.
And some of them have repressed it so much they don't even know that it's there yet.
Right. And they can't put words to it. If something is off, it's not you, it's me. I've got my own, spiral going on inside of me that I got to figure out. Yeah.
And it often goes along with the next one we're going to give too.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's me. And then they say,
I need to focus on myself right now.
I got to focus on myself.
Got to focus on me.
And then you find out 3 weeks later they're dating someone else.
They're focusing on someone else too.
Wait a minute, that's not you.
I will say about the it's not you, it's me. Sometimes this can be a cop-out. When it is a cop-out, it's because they have difficulty communicating their issues and concerns to you. They have a fear of disappointing you, so they'd rather take on the blame themselves rather than making you feel bad about something that you've done. So this is something I say often. As adults, we have a responsibility to tell others when something is bothering us. So if somebody's unable to do that, then we are wasting our time by trying to think about what we've done wrong. So, of course, there's self-reflection, but that's very different from ruminating constantly on how bad of a partner you are.
Yeah, very different.
All right, this next one. I need to focus on myself right now.
I need to focus on myself.
Super vague.
But
very vague.
And again, this is one of those things that we look to decipher if it's accurate or if it's BS.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see differences in how they're navigating their life. If it's real, if it's meaningful.
Right. If this is a person who maybe they're young and they really want to invest in their future, focus on their career, figure out who they are. This does happen often. They could be receiving pressure from work, from others, sometimes pressure from family to be a certain way or to get certain things done, reach a certain level of success. And this is something interesting that I hear from clients of all ages. They have this concept of, I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me because I feel this way personally sometimes too. But I hear it from people who are the teenagers with some of my personal counseling clients. I also hear it from adults. I hear it from people who are in their 60s plus. So it really breaks down that concept of where someone is supposed to be if all of these people in all different phases and walks of life are experiencing that same feeling.
It's very interesting how you hear a lot of the same reasonings.
Yeah. So it does make you question what is coming up that makes you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. When someone says, I need to focus on myself, they have almost the self-imposed goal. The self-imposed, I need to be in this place for me to be in a relationship. And I need to be in this place to be a provider for my partner.
There's like a depression and a guilt there underlying it.
Yeah, and a lack of self-confidence. A lot of self-esteem issues go with that too. Imposter syndrome is really big with that. Sometimes someone saying, I need to focus on myself right now, is also their inability to ask for help. We talk about this often, how sometimes avoidance, they believe that they have to tackle their own issues on their own with no one else's help because anybody else helping is going to be A, too vulnerable, B, a burden on others, and C, they might mess it up more.
Yep.
So that's another phrase that you might hear often from avoidance. I need to work on this myself. I need to do it myself.
And yes, sometimes it is just BS.
Yeah. All right.
Next one?
Next one. What is it?
I can't give you what you need right now.
Believe them. Believe them.
And, it sounds like another one of those vague BS things that people say. And yes, it is often a vague BS thing that some people say. But some people genuinely mean it. Especially avoidance.
Right.
Especially avoidance. They feel like they can't give that person what they need, especially if you have an anxious attachment style and you've been pushing them, pressuring them, asking for these things that overwhelm them, and then they start to feel guilty about it. They're like, you keep asking for this and for that, and I can't do that right now. And you need to find someone that can do that for you.
You deserve better.
Yes, you deserve better. And all of those things just kind of go together. And it's like, when you're hearing it, you're like, yeah, but I just want to be with you. I'll make it work. But they're like, no, but you need to be with somebody who can give you what you need. You deserve more than I can give.
They might be right on some level.
Yeah, exactly. And they mean it on some level too.
So this is one where you really got to keep your ears open. When people tell you who they are, listen. And if someone's saying, hey, I can't meet your needs, you're left with two decisions. Suppress your needs, or maybe this also means find a way to manage your anxiety. Keep that in mind.
That's true too.
It might mean that. Or it might mean, settle for a relationship with someone who can't do these things.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard because you have to balance, like, am I being reasonable? Or how reasonable am I being in what I need? Am I being demanding?
Right.
Would most people feel pressured by what I'm asking for? Or is it that this person, this avoidant, is feeling pressured?
Yeah.
So figuring out that balance isn't easy, and it's really hard to think about when you're so anxious after the breakup.
And I'll tell you what I hear often from anxious people in this situation. So they will start to say, no, never mind everything I've said. I don't need those things anymore.
Yeah.
I'm okay with you texting me once a week. No, I'm okay with not seeing you for a month at a time.
Yeah.
I'm okay. You start to settle for anything, for crumbs. And that's something that's really heartbreaking for me to see, because you start to really deny yourself of some needs, some things that would actually help the relationship be alive.
And ironically, the avoidant will be more likely to be like, no, but you really do deserve better. They'll be healthier in that than the person who's anxious and is so afraid of losing that person. But this is why we have so many reflective questions in the workbooks and the creative healing course, to figure these things out and find a balance within yourself on what is a deal breaker, what's healthy for you, what do you need, what do you want. You got to figure this stuff out. If you don't, you're just going to keep repeating these patterns.
Right. So I'm hoping that this list of phrases and us breaking down just some of our thoughts on each phrase could be helpful if you're going through a breakup, if you're reflecting back on your breakup and might have heard some of these things, if you're reflecting on past breakups, you've heard these things in the past, to kind of put the pieces together. Maybe there's some themes, maybe there's some patterns that keep on repeating for yourself. Take a look at this list, see what you think, and comment down below other phrases that you might have heard in the breakup.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious to hear what people say and if there are other common phrases.
Oh, yeah, there's tons, but these are some of the ones that come up the most. And hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.